Hi guys, my name is Grace. For my senior project, I am creating multiple videos that go over different topics that pertain to weightlifting. In this particular video, I'll be discussing the anatomy and physiology of the squat, as well as how to perform a conventional squat. Let's get started. Alright, so first let's discuss your quadriceps femoris. It is this big set of muscles right here. Your quadriceps femoris are heavily used in this squat. They're going to help to extend or straighten your knee. So another set of lower body muscles that are going to help you out during your squat are going to be your hamstrings and your gluteus maximus. They're going to extend your hips and your trunk. Basically, they help you with good posture. You don't want your quads to do all of the work. If that were the case, you would be more bent over and thus more prone to back injury, as shown in this clip. So now your trunk and your hips are extended, but now your back needs to be straight as well. Your spinal erectors are going to help straighten your back and stabilize your vertebral column, or your spine. Now your spinal erectors, they're pretty small muscles. They're not designed to hold a lot of weight, so don't rely on them during this lift. So your spinal erectors and your abdominal muscles are going to work together to help stabilize your back. The abdominal muscles specifically used in the squat are going to be your transversus abdominis. Now, on this diagram, you really can't see the transversus abdominis because it's covered by the obliques and your rectus abdominis. But the transversus abdominis and your spinal erectors work together to stabilize your spine and your back. So now that we've checked out some of your primary muscles, let's check out some of your synergist or supporting muscles. Two of those muscles are going to be in your lower leg. They're going to be called your gastrocnemius and your soleus. Now these muscles help to control foot and ankle mobility. They help to create plantar flexion, which is an increase in the angle between the foot and the leg. These muscles also help control dorsiflexion, which is the opposite of plantar flexion. In the squat, there will be some dorsiflexion, but you don't want it to be too extreme. In other words, you don't want your knees going too far past your feet because it can affect your balance. So now that we've gone over some of the anatomy and physiology of a squat, let's get into how to actually do a squat. So first, where should you put your feet? I normally place my feet around the width of my shoulders, but that's what I'm comfortable with. You could adjust your stance to target the quads or to target the glutes and hamstrings. Move your toes outward a little bit. Now let's discuss hand grip. Place your hands out in front of you to find the grip that works for you. Some squat with a wide grip, but I prefer a narrow grip. Your elbows should be tucked in and downward. Squeeze your shoulder blades together to help solidify your upper back. Okay, now you are ready to do a squat. I normally get my hips into position by pushing up my glutes just a bit. I do this to make sure my back doesn't develop a severe lumbar curve. Pick the bar off the rack and squat. Your hips and knees should break around the same time. Push your weight into the heels of your foot. Weight shoes can help you with this, but if you do not have weight shoes, you can try to lift up your toes a little bit. This helps with balance. I like to use weight shoes during my squat workouts. The brand I bought is called Do-In. These shoes have laces that enable me to tighten them and a pair of straps. This helps me stabilize my feet and prevents them from moving around too much. To use the shoes, you simply tighten them up and perform a squat. The slight heel in the shoe forces you to dig into your heels of your feet, which prevents too much forward movement. The front of your foot is small and weak in comparison to your heels, so these shoes also prevent foot injuries. A mistake a lot of people make is their hips come up before their legs. This makes your upper body become horizontal. You really don't want this. It adds an extra step to get the weight back up. Your knees and hips should move together. So there's a lot of debate on how low you should go during a squat. If you go too low, it can be harder to get the bar back up. If you don't go deep enough, you aren't working out your leg muscles as much as you could during the squat. I normally try to get my legs in a horizontal line. The official marker is your crease of the hips should just go below the top of the knee when viewed from the side. Now this isn't perfect, it doesn't always happen, but it's what I shoot for during my squat workouts. If you go to the right depth, you really shouldn't have to worry too much about your knees going way past your feet. If your knees go too far past your foot, it normally means your form went wrong somewhere else. They shouldn't go to the extreme, but I wouldn't get too hung up about it. Finally, let's discuss the weight belt. I cover this piece of equipment in my equipment video. During the squat, the belt gives you something to push up against. You push your stomach up against the belt. Now, I only use the belt when I'm lifting a lot of weight or I'm trying to hit a new personal record. I put mine on pretty tight, but not so tight that I can't breathe. As I mentioned before, the belt is there for you to push your stomach up against. With smaller weights, you might not feel much of a difference, but as you get stronger and you can squat more weight, you want to have a solid core. The way I like to describe how to use a belt is you need to contract your abdomen muscles. I personally find it hard to remember to keep a tight core, so the belt gives me a cue to contract my abdomen. Well, I hope this video answered any questions you guys might have had about the squat. Now keep in mind there are a lot of different kinds of squats. This was just a conventional squat. If you have any other questions about weightlifting, you can go check out my other videos. Thank you for watching.